All right, so here we are. This agent has something to say about appraisals. What is going on with appraisals right now? Let's take a look.
This week, I had not one, but two appraisals come back low. One came in $11,000 below contract price, while the other one came in $20,000. And here's the thing, both of those numbers landed exactly where I told my buyer we should be when we made the offer. Both of them. So what does this tell you? It tells you the market is speaking. The problem is sellers just aren't listening. We're still seeing sellers price and negotiate homes like it's 2020.
Really interesting point. So, one of the things going on is some sellers right now are still thinking that if my neighbor's house sold for X, I can sell my house for X plus 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. You do the numbers. And that's not true anymore. What we find is that if you get greedy, the house is going to sit on the market. We can't get greedy. In his case, he was saying he's representing the buyers, so it's pretty interesting. So the buyers had to make offers, I guess, in order that were super high in order to get the seller's attention. Now, what we don't know, and maybe we'll find out in a moment, is are the buyers at the list price on these homes, or did they have to go over list price in order to get the seller to say yes? Pretty interesting. So I don't necessarily think that there's a problem with the appraisal. There's probably a problem with the offer, if that makes sense. And here's another interesting nuance, at least in my service area. The way our contracts are written, if you're using conventional financing, there is no appraised value contingency. So if you're buying the house for $500,000 and it appraises for 450, the contracts in their standard wording here by the New Jersey Association of Realtors does not technically say that the buyer is exempt or this contract is null and void, or let me restate that, a contingency that there's no contingency that it appraises for the contract price. Now, in reality, if the buyer was thinking about putting 20% down or planning to, and then it appraises, in my example, for 450 instead of 500, theoretically, now the buyer has to put 20% down on the 450 plus make up the gap of 450 to 500. Now, in reality, people don't have endless sums of money to do that kind of thing. FHA and VA financing, different rules about that. It's an interesting situation here. In most cases, if something like this happens, the seller's expectation is that the buyer can't close unless they work out some kind of an agreement. Let's see what else this guy has to say.
And I get it. Inventory, at least in our area, is still pretty low. That part hasn't changed, but the buyers have changed. The people looking to buy right now, they do want to buy. They're just not desperate. They're cautious. They're doing their homework. They're not going to just throw money at a house and hope it works out. So when a seller sits at a price that the market doesn't support and a buyer makes an offer based on what the data actually says, the appraisal is going to side with the buyer every time. If you're a seller right now, you just need to understand that the days of pricing high and just waiting for someone to bite are over in most cases. And
So interesting. So one of the things going on right now with one of my clients exactly now is it's in a townhome neighborhood. We priced the home at the upper end of what the comps are. Now, this is a nice house. It should sell for the upper end of the comps, and it should appraise at the upper end of the comps. But as I record this, we have a couple of offers on this property, one of which is $15,000 over our list price. If it sells for that price, it will be a record for the neighborhood. But I let the seller know realistically, it's not going to appraise. It's probably going to appraise for right around the list price. And pretty much gone are the days the COVID days when buyers would say, well, I'll cover an appraisal gap of X. So if it doesn't appraise, I'll cover 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever that may be. Those days are few and far between right now, or those transactions are few and far between. So that's where you have to be super careful. Now, the seller will probably roll the dice and say, hey, but if it appraises a little higher, it's more money for him. And I get that. But in reality, it's very unlikely.
Most markets. And if you're a buyer, this is exactly why having someone in your corner who knows how to read the market matters. 2 appraisals, 1 week. Both came back right where I said they should be. The market always tells the truth, even when sellers just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, the market does tell the truth, but an interesting spin on this too, in my particular situation, is I have to wonder, are we have a few offers on this particular property, and are the buyers in this situation just bidding it up uh, to try to get the seller's attention, knowing it's never going to appraise anyway, but the seller will probably go for the highest offer. So there's so many strategies out there. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, make sure you're aligning yourself with a seasoned, experienced agent that understands all these nuances and can put you in the best possible position. Comment below, like this video, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on the next one.